to another episode of Ninjas Are Butterflies. Today we have a special guest. Ruslan KD is back in the building. And ladies and gentlemen, we talk about some amazing things today. At the top of the list, we talk about aliens. Are they demons? Are they angels? Should you be scared? Should you be pooping your pants right now? A lot of things to discuss because there's a lot of disclosure right now, and it's very terrifying.
We also talk about the throne of Satan. Is it L.A.? Is it France? We also talk about the Grim Reaper and the origins of it, and it's spooky as heck.
And you have the chance to win free Ninja merch. All you have to do is comment below on this video, and we're going to pick someone at random. You could win a ton of stuff. It's not just shirts. We got stickers. We got other stuff that might get thrown into. Andy does it, so whatever I say, he has to put in. So shirt, sticker, maybe a woot hoop, maybe a hat.
I'll send you a hat.
Whoa. Maybe his underwear.
Oh, lucky you.
Big maybe.
Joke's on you. He doesn't wear any.
This podcast is brought to you and powered by Sunday Cool. Watch this or listen.
This podcast is brought to you by Sunday Cool. Watch this or listen.
And it's powered by.
Yeah, it's close.
What did I say?
Brought to you and powered by. You skipped the powered.
Should I say again?
It's fine. No, it's fine. This is all in it.
We'll edit it in.
Yeah.
We'll
Say
powered.
Power.
Pow! Pickles, dude. Best little snack, dude.
I've been cranking blackberries. So like whenever I go to shows, I have blackberries with me.
They are the best.
It's so
fruit
low calories, so high fiber. They keep you full, you know. So
and they're great on everything.
Yeah, blackberries go hard. So, dude, I'm pumped for you guys, man. That's like really encouraging to hear. Yeah, I'm going to Cabo in 2 months, and I was just like, I'm taking a family vacation. I'm just like,
Sweet.
I just want to walk around the beach with my shirt off and like feel
be
good.
like,
Not have to worry, you not have any thoughts whatsoever. It's like, man, I feel gross right now.
Yeah. I want to take my shirt off and look like a superhero for my kids. You know, so that's the plan. It's just hard with traveling, man.
I was just making sure that was
traveling's the worst,
bro. It's brutal.
How much longer is your tour?
This is the last stop. I'm
okay.
Tampa tomorrow. I'm done.
Oh, sick.
I'm not going anywhere.
What do you got next?
Travel wise?
Yeah, just like or business wise.
Father's Day summit. I take my dad. My dad. Father's Day speaking thing with my son. A couple conferences, but they're all like in and out. You know.
Nice.
And then I'm trying not to do much other stuff. Like I'm so tired, dude. I'm just like.
Are you looking to bless God 2027?
Yeah. I really do want to have you guys back. I think we got. We're starting to get some soft yeses already. So love you guys back. Trizzle will be back.
Same venue.
I think so. I think
that was a dope venue.
It's such a good venue, and it's such a fun like just vacation for people.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to flex, but like every church asking us to do it there. Just like, dude, just do it here. We'll give you the venue for free. You can use our tech AV. I'm like, it's just not the same when you do it at a church. You know? But the venue,
being less than 100 feet away from the beach is a game changer.
Like it,
and the amphitheater right there, was incredible.
Yeah. So we're gonna do it again. But yeah, we got I think. We got like Melissa Dotery that's down. I think Frank Turek. I don't know if you guys know who Frank Turek is. But he's down. He gave me a soft yes. And then we're just gonna rebook some other stuff, some comedy. You guys familiar with The Lord's Giant?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Benjamin. Yeah.
So Ben and
we've invited him on the podcast. He hasn't said anything yet.
He's great.
I mean, he said he wanted to, but he hasn't came.
They him and Ben, what is it? Cool
Josh Benson.
Josh Benson are doing a pod, so they want to come.
Cool,
So
that'd be awesome.
Fun. Yeah. So
maybe we could do a pod then. With them. That'd be
maybe.
great.
Yeah, we'll have a better podcast setup this coming year, so that like we'll have a room you guys can go into, and everyone can just like pod while they're there. So
dude,
cool.
Shane Smith killed it.
He was so good.
Wasn't that so good?
That was very good.
He's amazing.
So fun, man.
Yeah. I do a talk like on my tour stuff. I do like an origin talk. That is, that I bounced off of him. I don't call it comedy because I would like respect real comedians too much. But there's like some good amount of jokes in there, and so I bounced it off of him. It's similar his story. Like he has it's like similar stuff. So I'm talking about like joining a gang and all this sort of stuff. But he was really helpful to like just kind of be a bouncing pad off of stuff.
Dude, he was great. So funny.
Dude, going to your event was the hardest thing because I've been like really suffering with like anxiety, and I've always had stage fright. Bro, that was so hard. I
could tell you were just kind of powering through it,
and I took way too much of my anxiety medicine to where it was like working against me at that point. I'm just like, I want to fall asleep so bad, but I'm freaking out.
Just blood pressure of 0.
It's like, oh gosh.
But you killed it though.
You guys do your own live events too, though, right?
We've only done one tour, like so 3 shows.
Okay.
Yeah.
They went decent.
How did you
I
feel?
mean, they
after
went
those?
good.
2 out of 3 you threw up.
Yeah, I was going to say it was
Okay.
equally bad.
Okay.
Yeah. The third one or the second one, the Tampa one, I started getting a panic attack on stage.
Oof.
I'm like, well, this sucks. I'm like, I can't just leave.
And you're talking full on, like you think, like chest panic attack.
It's
yeah,
bad.
just like,
It's
yeah,
bad.
like,
Yeah, that's
like,
brutal. Yeah.
And then I'm like taking off my sweater. I'm like,
Yeah, that happened to Angela from Girls Gone Bible.
Mhm.
She had a moment where she was about to go out and had a full on panic attack. I'm like, I can't go out there. Like, I can't go out
oh,
there.
really?
Was she at Bless God?
She was not. No.
I was
no,
gonna.
no,
Oh, I thought we were.
no.
Yeah. Okay.
No, they're friends of mine though, and so they talked about it, and I just kind of checked in on them. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's not uncommon, dude. Especially when like you're not used to being in front of people.
Yeah, I'm not. I actually hate it.
You're so good at this
Yeah.
though.
The billions of people watching.
They're not. I'm not standing. I can't see them.
There's Chris. There's Angela. There's.
It's one of those Japanese game shows where all the walls fall down.
They've been here the whole time.
It's been live in front of an audience the whole time.
It was all
Oh man.
Still haven't added a gong.
Yeah, we need a gong.
We
I
need
need to
to
put it
buy
on.
a gong. You got a gong guy?
I sent him a.
I probably have a gong effect somewhere. I guess.
Okay. We need a. We want
No,
like
we
a,
want to get like a big
Like an
one.
actual- like an
a
actual-
big one. Oh, come on.
Behind
We found
his
one
ear.
on eBay, dude.
Boom.
The Tibetan one were $600. We just need
I'm
to
just
pull
afraid
the
if you
trigger.
hit that, there's gonna be like demons flying out of that thing, bro. Because they got.
We'll
like,
pray
all,
over it.
They got all the inscriptions.
We'll bring it to Brother Brennan.
Yeah,
And we'll have it taken care of.
Brother Brennan.
And
He's
Kenny
in
Backus.
India right now.
Which is so cool.
So my cousin, he is basically a monk in Catholicism.
Okay. Respect.
At the Catholic Church, and they're called the Brotherhood. But he's in India right now doing a little mission work. He's at Mother Teresa's
You know what? I was
stomping grounds.
just gonna say I just discovered that the majority of her missionary work was in India. I didn't know that till like on the flight here.
Yeah, I just found that out from him.
Yeah. It's
Pretty
wild.
cool.
India
Super
has a
cool.
very deep Catholic population, which I also did not know. Okay, you guys familiar with this guy? No, you had him on. What am I talking about? L.A.
Marzulli.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Never heard of him.
Yeah. You just had him on. I'm sorry, I forgot. Yeah, he's supposed to come on mine.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
He's fun, dude.
Is
He's
he?
so fun.
Okay.
we
Yeah.
have some stories for you after the pod.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah,
LA
he's our oldest guest that we've ever had.
Uh-huh.
The guy will rant and rave forever.
Good.
He's great. He's got amazing stories.
Yeah.
He's
But
so
he'll-
fun too. Like
he'll
while
just
we're
chase-
singing, he like pulled out his phone. He's like, "This is great."
I don't
Keep
know that
going."
anyone's enjoyed a song more than he did.
Oh, it's
man.
great.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
All right, if I
Marzulli.
join in on the song,
Please,
just roll with it.
please.
Okay.
I'll keep going.
All right.
Yeah.
Please.
I screwed up your camera, so I'm gonna change that.
All right. Yeah.
Quit screwing up, Andrew.
Didn't you guys have a switcher here last time, Andrew? Did you decide to go back?
That was our live that we had.
That was
Yeah.
a live.
Yeah.
Okay,
The
okay.
last
okay,
time you
okay.
were here, we were doing
was
a
a live. Got
Yeah.
it. Got it.
Yeah.
AI host switching.
Switch pod?
I do. I run Autopod, and there's another that
Autopod,
we
that's what
have
it's called,
that.
yeah.
Well, there's another one that does it too, but we run that.
Yeah.
It's like if Autopod goes down, we got another one queued
That's
up.
what Chris is working on. I just did Pastor Joby Martin's pod earlier today, and so we're running it that way too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of songs, Ruslan, welcome,
go.
Ruslan.
Hey, Ruslan KD is back in the house.
Ba-ba-bam. I don't got any sound effects in my headphones. I don't like it.
Yeah, sorry.
Do you want a song?
I want a song.
All right. Well, what was genre?
Any genre you want, we'll do
Hip
it.
hop.
Hip hop?
Hip hop.
I think we
Easy.
can do that.
Easy.
I want a rap song right now.
We can do it.
Bing bang boom, bing bang boom.
What's your favorite genre of rap?
Boom bap.
90s, early 90s,
Yeah.
late 80s.
Yeah.
Boom bap is the best.
That's the best, bro.
Okay. Whoa.
Oh,
Echo.
is he just on Echo?
Yeah.
Interesting.
You guys do this every time. I only put it on my guitar, and then you guys go back and forth.
So when it comes
like,
out,
watch.
people are like, "There's no
Mute it.
Echo on your."
Watch.
Oh, dang.
Test.
Never mind. Echo. You hear it, right? Oh.
You guys did a bit once, and I literally had to put it on post because it went for so long. I had to add reverb.
All right. Hip hop. Boom bap. Here we go. Off the top of the dome.
Wow.
In the ancient days, before podcasts, before algorithms, before reaction channels, there roamed a warrior, a beast among men, a name whispered only in fear. Ruslan KD. And many do not know what the initials KD truly stand for. What? For some, it claims it means kneeling dinosaur. Others believe knitting daddy. There are even those foolish enough to say kangaroo dictator.
Kangaroo dictators.
But no. KD has only stood for one thing. Ruslan, the killer of dragons.
He walked through the mountains alone in the rain, as fierce as a tiger but quiet as a mouse. He fought off a demon disguised as a monk, then baptized him with a spinning roundhouse.
The villagers trembled whenever he'd pass. The horses would bow and the kings would all scream. He once killed a serpent with nothing but a prayer, and when he speaks it's with laser beams.
The kings tried to stop him, the armies all failed. The dragons kept on coming, but Ruslan prevailed.
Ruslan, killer of dragons, slayer of shadows, the stealer of flags. Ruslan, he feared no evil. He once punched a wizard for speaking heresy. And on the seventh day, the dragons looked down from the heavens. And they wept, for they knew Ruslan KD was fastly approaching. Ruslan, slayer of shadows, destroyer of darkness, the night of the skies. Ruslan, the last of the heroes, the first of the fury, the man who never dies. The man who never dies. The man who never dies.
That was amazing.
Classic boom bap hip hop.
That was
Classic
amazing.
hip hop.
Just classic boom bop.
What all the
DMX
kids are
hip-hop.
listening to nowadays, Andy.
That's a big hit. A lot of kids are talking about it.
A bunch of gangster hip hoppy hop hops.
Hip hoppity boppity bitty.
Bing bang bomb.
Yes, sir.
The man who never dies.
Nice. Bom bom.
So yeah,
All right,
if you
so
want to
it's
use
just-
that for your podcast,
I
you're
would-
Yeah,
more
I mean,
than
just-
welcome
It's
to.
gonna be my intro music for all my live events now.
A man who never dies.
That was great.
We got to do a live song next time.
You
we're at
absolutely
Bless God.
got to do a live song next time you're at the summit. That
What
was
is-
phenomenal.
that would be
What
fun.
did you think of our entrance at Bless God? Because
I
we
thought it was
didn't tell
the
you about
best.
it at all.
I thought it was the best.
Yeah.
I thought it was so good.
It was like 2 hours before it. I was just like, hey, could you play this as our walk-up song right now?
No, it was great. It was. You guys did a great job of just making it fun, and I think that's at a summit like that where people are like just receiving. It's just great to just have fun.
Yeah. I loved, me and my wife both loved the God Logic debate.
That was fun.
That was a blast.
Yep.
That was so fun. And
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm bummed I missed it like in person, but it was so good to listen
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, God Logic's
You get it.
been on
Yeah.
a tear. He's amazing. So shout
Yeah.
out to Avery.
Yeah,
Yeah,
debates
absolutely.
are fun.
Yeah, it was a great debate.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do one day, right?
Yeah.
What would you guys
Definitely.
debate if you had to debate? Who would you debate and what would you debate?
I don't know, Ruslan.
I have it in my head right now. I have it in my head.
No, let
I
me
have it in
know.
my head. I got the prompt and I know who you would debate.
Go.
You ready?
Ready.
Blurry creatures
Yeah.
Oh, we'd lose.
are demons.
Wait.
Aliens demons or aliens angels?
Bro, I'm just going to.
Or can aliens be anything besides demons? That's the prompt.
Let's get into
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, 100%.
Let's talk
Easy.
about that. But first, Ruslan, I need you to just zip it.
Josh, he's our guest.
I know.
I didn't bring a firearm this time.
Here you go. It's loaded. Be careful.
Oh. Oh,
It's live. You can use that if you want, but I hope you don't use it because this question. I don't know, guys. Ruslan, you travel the world. You meet a bunch of people. Some good, some bad.
Yeah.
Those who are loving, those who are hateful. And this question was sent in just for you.
okay. I like it. This from someone from Patreon?
Just someone.
Someone. Okay.
Yeah.
One of our billions of viewers.
One of the hundreds of billions of users. That
Okay.
we have. Viewers.
Users.
Ruslan, today's question sent in by a viewer. Are Canadians nice?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. They.
No.
Well, okay. Well, it depends.
You
No,
can
he's
talk
trying
all
to,
you
he's
want.
trying to backtrack
No,
now.
you can talk all you want. You can talk all you want. I don't know if you watch the news, Ruslan.
I do. Occasionally.
Oh, so now he does. No
Occasionally.
deniability.
I don't
No.
know if you've seen recently, but our fearless leader, Donald
Jay.
Trump.
Trump, he is officially renamed ICE into NICE. I don't know why this is funny. The National Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
Yeah. And now he has now thrown a blanket statement over every single Canadian.
Every single Canadian.
single
the
Canadian.
billions of Canadians that are out there. You're now saying they're a part of NICE.
Part of nice. Yeah. What are they gonna do?
I don't know. I'm scared.
Yeah. I think it's.
I don't think they are.
I think it's completely irresponsible for him to say that.
yeah, it's a very broad statement.
Because
I think
we've
you-
always spoken kindly of our Canadian viewers.
always,
Every single time.
every single time.
We've never said
Unless
anything
they're-
negative.
Unless they're French.
Come on. That goes without saying. That goes without saying.
Anyways, Ruslan, how could you?
Are you guys afraid that they're going to deport you?
Of course, we have families, Ruslan.
That would be bad.
Yeah.
I
But
don't
apparently
know.
you don't care.
I don't know if this is an appropriate joke.
But you don't care.
This podcast is already probably demonetized, and it's okay.
You want our families to grow up without fathers. That's what you're saying.
That's what he said.
That's what you're saying.
Well, I guess you guys heard it here first.
Shame.
Fathers out there,
Shame.
he doesn't want you to be part of your kids' lives.
We know your name.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Did I say ninja? I meant the butterfly is no doubt one of God's most beautiful creations. Does it empty your mind?
You learn martial arts!
Ninjas attack!
Welcome to the show.
There it is.
Indeed.
We did it.
Oh man.
Aliens and demons.
Aliens and demons.
I love this. I love this combo. So recently, you've been posting a bunch of videos
Yes.
about this pastoral meeting with this intelligence group that we later find out is not technically involved in the government.
Mm-hmm.
They're a privatized intelligence group.
Mm-hmm.
What that means,
We don't know.
It's whatever they decide.
Yeah. I just want to hear your thoughts on that. Like, because we talked like a week ago about it. We were all a little hot and heavy with it, of just like, we were kind of going down the conspiracy route because we were coming at it with the lens of that it was from intelligence.
Mhm.
And it's like, well, what does that mean?
I mean, it blew up. That's what everything was saying.
But that's
Yeah.
what was being claimed, right?
Yeah. I mean, they just
Like,
said
so, like,
intelligence.
Yeah. So like, what are we supposed to pull from that?
Yeah.
Well, they said government.
Oh, they did. Oh,
Yeah,
that one
so-
guy did.
So
yeah.
the
Yeah, he said someone high up in the government,
yes.
respectable in the government. And it's like, first of all, you don't trust a politician.
Yep.
But either way, it's like that's what was said. So that's what we were going on.
Yeah. So the guy, Pastor Perry Stone, comes out, makes this statement, and they had been talking about this for a while because this meeting happened back in February around NRB in Nashville.
Okay.
So they've been talking about this for a while, and this is a part of their own end times views that what's going to get disclosed is there's going to be a mass deception of people, because what's going to get disclosed is that we really came from aliens, and that's what you thought you knew about Jesus. He was an alien. What you thought you knew about the Bible, that was all from aliens. So the theory was that's what was going to come out. This is back in February.
Mm-hmm.
Then Perry Stone, for whatever reason, decided to talk about this on his stream. And he was the one that said government. He was the one that said intelligence. He was the one that said reptilian people. He wasn't there.
That was the guy with the UFOs behind him. Like
Yes.
the thing.
Yeah.
Dude, that guy wasn't at the thing?
He was not at the thing. So
That's
he's
the danger of
giving
secondhand news.
Secondhand news.
No way.
Yes. So then another guy named Pastor Larry ends up coming out, and all these guys co-sign Perry Stone, particularly Alan Didio, who I know, and they all end up and basically saying, absolutely, this happened. I was at this thing. This is exactly what happened. Or I'm paraphrasing, but more or less affirming what he said. Another guy named Larry comes out and doesn't just say it was just this. He said a standing senator from, I think, Minnesota called in and said, they're going to deceive the people. They're going to Well, this senator responded and was like, I never said any of this. And then Pastor Larry then had to apologize and say, sorry, guys, this is my opinion. This wasn't really said. And then they started backtracking. Everyone started backtracking and saying, "Oh, it wasn't really the government. It was." Now, from one standpoint, I think these guys meant well. I think they understand that there could be something that's disclosed at some point. They mean well, but I think what happened was they were almost being very good YouTubers.
Yeah.
And like sensationalizing and embellishing. Where if you're a pastor, like that's you operate by a different ethos. Like you can't do clickbait. Sensational
Content
stuff,
doesn't come first.
I will say our buddy Tony Merkel, who's been on the pod, I talked to him after, and he was part of those meetings as well. At least one of them. I don't know if it was both of them, but he was pretty mad about it, like hitting the news like that, and like because people were coming after him and just being like, bro, why didn't you talk about this? Are you hiding this from us? And he's like, it wasn't important to talk about. Like it was just like a meeting with pastors. We met in an Airbnb.
Yeah. Well, props to him because he came out and was the one that was like, I called the meeting.
Yeah.
And there wasn't nobody there from the government. That these were private citizens who are. It sounded like he called together a meeting of Christian UFO enthusiasts.
Yeah.
Who have their own theories and files and whatever. And it was they just put a little sauce on it and embellished it. And then you got Joe Rogan now laughing about it, making fun of the pastors. Like, this is a complete train wreck.
Yeah. Does not look good.
I want to know if there's like an angle that was played as the story broke. I can't remember the account my wife follows, but I know the person who runs it has been to like White House pressers. And I remember that they were talking about it ambiguously. Like, intel's coming in, like I'm trying to put some stuff together. So it was like they were already like working up the story before they had a story. And I just think that's interesting that someone who's like actually been invited into the inner circle of what we would call potentially a propaganda machine. It's like, what are they leveraging by like building the story up? You know what I mean? Because like they would for sure know what went on. You know what I mean? Like there's there's some weird angle to like other people using it.
The theory, one of the theories I saw floating around was that, this is one big distraction.
Yeah.
Because, what about the Epstein files? What about the war in Iran? What about all these other things? Like, I didn't know that they were voting on the war of Iran this week, right? So all these other things are happening. And for a moment, everyone's talking about aliens and the government calling a meeting with pastors, which just wasn't true.
Yeah. So even if the top didn't plan it, they're like, hey, that works.
Yeah.
Everybody buzz about it. Just get it going.
Yeah. I mean, you did the video with like a couple of the videos and stuff with the disclosure. Bunch of just nothingness.
Just a big nothing burger, bro.
It's like it was nothing.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know if you saw this, that star shaped.
Yeah.
People like analyzing like that's a flare. It's a video of a flare.
That was the most interesting thing in the freaking file.
I know. And like, if you watch this video and you can pull it up on here, there's a you can clearly see is a parachute with a flare on it.
Oh my gosh.
And it's just like,
you can see like the smoke trail or whatever.
But why would they release, even the White House TikTok, the official TikTok released that video?
No way. I didn't know that.
And it's like, well, why are they, because they know that's a flare.
Yeah.
The guys that are releasing the video, they're like, that's clearly a flare. Let's
Every
give them
military person who's ever watched footage is going like, why are we talking about that?
Yeah.
So it's not just like a few people.
But that's the minority. Like there's so many, like the minority of people are calling that calling that bluff. The majority are saying, wow, that's crazy. That's insane. That's that's something that we really don't know what, because the majority of people aren't thinking on the level of like, oh, the government is completely untrustworthy all the time, no matter what. Like, we're kind of going with it, or they're not even consumed by it.
Yeah.
They're not even seeing it.
I think the part that hurts these pastors' credibility, as well as by proxy the church, is what was promised was going to be earth shattering. And it was we're gonna call it, and it was again, I think just so much hyperbole. I kind of joke around. You guys have probably heard this, like the idea of pastor math. You know, where pastors go in a room and there's 400 people and they say there's 800 people, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, this is that same kind of thing where we're using pastor math to describe serious stuff. And then there's people that are being affected by this. And the disclosure comes the same week this is all going viral. And nothing that you guys said was in the disclosure was in the disclosure. So what you were basically saying was, at some point, maybe there could be something that comes and that will explain, or they'll try to use this to explain away the Bible and Jesus and Christianity.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the same thing back in February when all the other documents were released, and there were no convictions, no ramifications whatsoever that came from it.
Yep.
And so it's like, it's the same thing over and over again. It's like, so were we just going to keep falling for this?
At what point are we fools for like continuing to listen? Like, I'm not saying there's no action in that question, but I mean, it's just like, if everything we're being fed leads us to nothing, it's like, why are we wasting our time with it?
Well,
that's
really,
how I feel.
I really
lose
don't,
the anticipation of it.
Yeah.
This UFO disclosure thing, I don't think they'll never release what they actually know, because I think it's way beyond even the government's understanding, because it's all privatized now. It's these like Lockheed Martin, just like all these industries
Scattered.
that have this information, and it's like they'll never release that. And like even like the crash retrieval program and stuff, they're not going to release that. And it begs the question: it's like, is it something just more sinister, you know? And I think it is
Totally. More sinister, more spiritual, on a deeper level than like just what we can physically feel and touch and see.
Yeah.
Like it's something so much deeper. And like that's the point. Like they release that, we lose control.
So from your guys' research, if you're just shooting it straight with me, from the amount of time you guys have spent looking at this, how much weight is there that there were actual crafts that crashed, and they actually have these crafts somewhere, or there's like substantial evidence for it? Not the Barack Obama, there's aliens, but I just mean there, you know, how much weight do you guys think is riding on that? They actually have crafts, or there's evidence of crafts, and they could release it if they really wanted to.
I definitely think there's a craft of some
think there's
sorts.
a craft?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's less than what they're putting out.
Yeah.
Even though they're putting out little, I still think it's less than that, because I think that's easy to, you know, something they created to, you know, blame on something else. Because I think there's less physical stuff of that realm. And I think it's more of given technology, like knowledge of that technology that we replicate.
Okay, but not
That's my opinion.
but not physical crafts that they have stored away somewhere.
No, I think they have that.
Do you think they have that?
I think so.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, because like I've gone back and forth with like the Bob Lazar story.
Yes. Was it Bob Lazar that said? Sorry to cut you off. Was it Bob Lazar that said they were using Russian little people and putting them in these planes?
That was Mike Heiser.
That was Heiser.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm getting confused.
Yeah.
And I remember he was saying that they were like Russian little people. I was going to say the word I'm not supposed to say. And they were putting them in these little crafts. And then when they were.
Well, he had the theory that it was children.
Yeah.
That were in this craft.
I thought it was the little people, dwarfs.
Yeah, I read
easy.
Yeah,
sorry.
I thought he said children, but it could have been little people.
Well, that was the thing, like outside of Area 51, right? When they ordered coffins to come in.
Yeah.
Like they ordered coffins
for
child-sized coffins for the crash that happened outside Area 51, and it's like, oh, that's interesting. Like, New Roswell.
Yeah.
And so it does add some little conflict. But we also have that story from Russia where everyone was turned into stone, and it was little people.
Yeah.
You know, that came out of this craft. And so, I don't know. It's
They're-
weird, man.
they're
Go back
better.
to Bob Lazar too. Sorry.
No, you're good. Go.
Well, just the Bob Lazar stuff, just listening to him, Jesse Michaels, American Alchemy, he did like a 3.5 hour interview with him. I watched his S4 thing, and it really seems legit.
He seems very compelling.
Like, I mean, because it's like just he had nothing to really gain from the story except like maybe fame.
Yeah.
But it was really kind of threat from the government, like through the fame. But the most compelling thing was in his S4, and I talked about this on previous podcasts, but in his S4 movie that he did, he described the UFO that he was working on with the test flights that they do every Wednesday or something. And he described it. And then Logan Paul comes out with the video that he stole from someone at Area 51, and it matched up exactly. And it's like, well, maybe this is just a great deception propaganda piece, but I mean, it was dead on. And like, I'm pretty convinced that he was working on something futuristic. Alien.
My skeptic brain starts to ask questions, and they're way more researched. Like, I'm honestly not at all. But like, I think about like, if there was a craft, like, let's just say China lost something here, and it's like, we don't want it getting out that we have acquired an enemy or an, you know, like that'd be a big deal if we took something from somebody else and like buried the story, like you can't have your crap back, you know, or the American people find out that another nation's flying like this tech, we have no idea. They were flying craft, intel, you know, harvesting craft over us, or even if they were like making contact, I mean, that's a big deal nation to nation. And so like my brain starts to think, well, like, you pull people in, it's like, hey, we got this craft, we have no idea what it is or where it's from. And like, could it be like a nation like China who was just like way ahead in AI and developed something? And then the guys working on it are like, dude, we've never even seen this, like this element that made the thing. And they start coming up just as bros, like, have you seen this? Like, I don't know where this is from. Some dude said it's from space. The next thing you know, they're reporting that they're working on a spacecraft. Again, I'm unresearched, but my brain starts to think through.
No, that makes sense.
Like, what other ways could they actually have craft, but not have an explanation for where on earth did it come from? Because the government's so good at compartment. Like, you might be working on a project and you have no idea where the specific thing you're working on is going. I don't know. That's where my brain goes.
Here's the theory. You guys remember the drone situation? Was that
New
last
Jersey.
year? Right?
Obsessed.
Right. And then they come to find out that these were private contractors testing stuff.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, they didn't want to tell people. And so everyone's freaking out because there's all these drones flying around. They're like, what are these? What if the technology is actually I don't know if this even works. Okay. So, but like, is enclosed drones. So, because drones could then move.
Yeah.
Right. Then it's not like an airplane. They can move. And then these crafts that they're finding are actually enclosed drones with little people inside of them.
It's possible, but a lot of these videos and accounts, it's like defies physics.
Yeah.
You know, like
they're just going too fast than a drone
with
could
going
ever
like
go.
500 miles an hour and entering the water with no splash and continuing the same speed, which is like impossible.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, as far as we know.
As far as we know.
That's the crazy thing is there is technology that was probably developed 30 years ago that would blow our minds today. That they've kept under, you know, cover. And so it's so strange, man. It's such a wild thing. And we're never going to really know.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's going to always be hidden from us.
I think Bart's theory, Bart Sabrell, we had him on. He's a guy who got punched by
Buzz Aldrin.
But like, he was talking about the Malaysian flight that disappeared, and he brought it to our attention that there were 20 people heading to China, but were at the forefront in their field working on cloaking. And so his whole
holographics.
Yeah.
Was
it? I thought he said holographics and whatever. Anyway, some sort of like imaging sort of thing. And then you look at all the scientists disappearing and they're like anti-gravity stuff. And it's like, so if you kind of combine, and that's over quite a period of time. So if you kind of
science and illusion.
Yeah. But then like, imagine just like the racing drones. If you went back to when we were in high school and one of those went, we'd be like, dude, there is a thing over the football field right now. So
yeah, like even jetpacks now, like jetpacks 30 years ago, 20 years ago, that would have blew our mind. But now they're doing it as a sport.
I think
so. It's like that's bonkers.
The thing that makes it so hard for me to believe is Gulf Breeze, Florida was one of the leading areas of UFO sightings in the USA. But if you look at a map of military-owned land, it is all of it. And so it's like the number one place where they're seeing craft. And it's like, well, yeah, that's where like all of the laboratories and research and tech and development, like I personally know two of the dudes who developed the bunker buster. Like they went to my church.
Wow.
And so it's like that community, of course, around it, you're going to like get sightings of that sort of tech, and everyone called it alien.
Now,
so
if they have land on America, you know, in North America, that they're testing stuff, you got to think like, you know, obviously people are going to see it. There's a chance that, you know, civilians are going to be watching this stuff, our tests and stuff. Do we own any other like islands or anything that we know of?
Venezuela.
Because obviously, it's that newly acquired.
Y'all ever seen that 6ix9ine meme with Donald Trump on his face?
No.
You haven't seen it? Oh, maybe you guys can put it here and that you got to edit it. But he goes, I just took that ish. I took it. And it's Trump and AI. It's so funny. Anyway,
That's
sorry.
great. But no, that's something that my mind goes to, like, because I mean, you could easily just obviously go out in the ocean and test your stuff, but I mean, how are you going to observe it? Whatever. I wonder, like, what properties we own outside North America.
Well, it's weird when you look at a map too of like reported UFO sightings, and America is just lit up.
Mm.
And then you have a little bit in like the UK, a little bit in Germany, a little bit in Russia, a little bit in like Argentina.
Yeah. My parents claim to have seen a UFO.
Have you ever?
I can't, not close up. They claim to have seen one up close.
No way.
What's their story?
Yeah, I think my mom and my dad and this is my memory of them telling me the story. Were out one night and they saw what they claim was a craft that got close enough to them, and then it got there and then it flew off. This is before I was born. This is in the 80s.
Azerbaijan.
Yeah, in Baku. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. So they've always, so my mom, like before she became a Christian, was always like, it's the aliens. The aliens created us. She's been a long time UFO. I remember that was her whole thing. It's like she didn't believe in God because she thought it was aliens. She recently became a Christian like 4 years ago.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
What does she believe it is now?
We haven't had a conversation about it. I got to talk to her about it.
Call her right now. What are you doing? Call her right now.
Let's see if I can get her on the phone.
That would be amazing.
If I can get my mom, you guys will love my mom.
So your mom and dad saw it.
That's what they claim. Let's see.
This is Jane and
it's
Ada's
either
story.
my mom or
20
my
years from
dad.
now.
Let's see. Let's see if she picks up. I don't know if she's going to pick up.
Story.
Yeah, if I imagine this, we got to clip this whole segment out.
Алло.
Дима,
Привет.
привет. Это я, Руслан. Слушай, я на подкаст сейчас. Мы говорим про aliens.
Ага.
Ты помнишь, что или папа мне сказал, что ты видела aliens, когда ты маленькая была? Ты помнишь или я перепутал?
Не, я не aliens видела. Мы видели такое большое зеленое облако.
Окей, по-английски скажи, пожалуйста. What did you see, Mom?
I saw a huge green cloud, and that cloud was kind of follow us. We stopped, the cloud stopped. We're moving, the cloud moving. And then it became small, and it was gone.
And when was this?
It was, I don't know, before we get married.
Okay. And you guys were together?
80, yeah, it was, you was born 84, we get married 83, so it was kind of like 82, something like 1982.
And it was completely unnatural. Nothing that could have ever
We were
naturally
going
explained
to
it.
visit our friend.
Yeah.
And
Was it natural? Is there any way to naturally explain it? Like any other way besides a UFO?
no, it was just a huge cloud, green color. Because usually it was dark, like usually at dark time, even if it's clouds, it's white. But it was green color.
Huh. Okay.
It was like a light,
Wow.
like round cloud color green, and it was following us. And then it was follow us maybe 30 minutes.
Was it just them two?
And
That's
then
all?
it became small.
Was it just you and Papa? Только вы вместе были или еще кто-то с вами был?
Нет, no, it was me and him, and we were going to visit his friend Gurgen
In Baku.
in Baku.
Okay.
Mhm.
How did it
Wow.
make her feel?
How did it make you feel? Как ты чувствовала?
No, we just feel like something follow us, like something like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like something watching us, and the cloud was following. Like we moving, they moving. We stop, they stop. I mean, the cloud stopped, the light, whatever.
What does she think it is now? Like,
Что ты думаешь это сейчас? What do you think it is now?
Well, I always think about aliens that they exist. They're somewhere,
Uh-huh.
and they watching us, like the whole world.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And, that's my opinion. So
Okay. All right, we'll talk about it more when I get back.
okay.
Okay, хорошо, Дима, давай.
love you, Mom.
Love you, Mom. Bye.
Пока, I love you.
She
Well,
seemed great.
Yeah,
That's
my
awesome.
mom.
That's a crazy story.
Yeah.
Did you see what I just said?
What'd you see?
Dude, I was like 1982 green cloud UFO. Bro, there's a freaking sighting.
Really?
Like a flight with a radar blip. Like a ton of people saw it. It's a thing.
Go ahead and read it.
Okay, this is, I haven't had time to like proof all of this. This is, where am I? I'm on the New York Times. A green cloud adds to Soviet UFO lore. Witnesses say it at first appeared as a yellow light, then a white ray, then it became a green cloud that turned into something resembling a plane. It was the latest example of a phenomenon that has caught Russians' imagination. Sightings and unidentified flying objects. The witnesses were the passengers and crew of Aeroflight 8352 on a night flight from Rostov to Tallinn, and ground controllers who had seen unexplained blips on a radar screen. And their audience was a member of the Academy of Sciences who solemnly declared that the sighting must have been what we call a UFO.
That's spooky.
That's
the fact
crazy.
that I just remember that in real time, and she
That's
wasn't
wild.
expecting my call.
Also,
so
that was crazy impressive. That what
Russian's my first language.
that's insane.
I love that. That was the first time Russian's have ever been spoken on the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to caption something other than what was being said. That whole thing.
We'll make up our own captions.
Yeah.
Hey mom, what's your snickerdoodle recipe?
I'm on this
Green.
podcast with these weird Floridian dudes.
That's a trip.
Well, this is great. I saw this story. I don't know where it was. I watched this story about there's a phenomenon like that in Russia. I think it was like earlier than that, though. It was like the 50s or 60s. But there was this cloud. I think it was the Y-Files, actually. But there's a cloud that would descend, and like people were like, what the heck? And like they would like start shooting at it, and it would like overtake them.
Whoa.
Typically green or just like a different colored cloud. And everything stopped. And so they would be looking around, and everyone's just like basically frozen.
Terrifying.
And when they would come out of it, I mean, hours had passed. So it was like some sort of like time dilation overtaking them.
It goes back to the bubble thing that Bob Lazar talked about.
Yeah.
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 Just like how everything would stop.
Yeah.
I'm just tripping out that like to her is like, yeah, that was a thing that happened. And then we look it up, and then it's like,
That's
spooky. Weird. Because she wasn't trying to tell us that story today. She just told it's like a family story.
Yeah.
Down to the year and location.
Either
That's
it's
crazy.
super weird, or he is a freaking genius at planning and
planning a whole-
And that lady's a wonderful actress.
No, I
what a setup.
I
dude.
felt bad even calling her because I didn't see her on Mother's Day. I was in LA, so I texted her, I was like, "Hey, happy Mother's Day. Let me know when you want to come by and get your gift." So I'm pumped she picked up.
I'm gonna have to do a little research into, because apparently it was more than just that plane. Like it was like a
thing.
The green cloud was a thing.
What a trip.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's interesting. It just instantly made me think of Exodus, like the fire cloud. Like,
Yeah.
How how people mimic what God does.
Well, here we go. Let's talk about clouds and time dilation real quick. Time manipulation. That theory that we talked about where Jesus was on the mount, the cloud surrounded him, speaking with Moses and Elijah. The theory that we talked about was that he was actually speaking to them in their time.
Woo, that's good.
Have you had that thought, dude?
That's crazy. I've never heard of that before. That's amazing.
So like it wasn't like they like came back from Abraham's bosom or like whatever. It was like they were there.
Uh,
Like
They
so
each
when
have an-
because
they each
they're-
have an encounter.
because
Yeah.
Moses he
'Cause
talked
Moses,
about he was
yeah.
on Mount Sinai when the cloud was encompassed the mount. Elijah on Mount Carmel, right? Was it Mount Carmel that he was on when he?
I remember
to
he was
God?
on a mountain. I
No,
don't remember.
it was,
know.
that was Mount
Was it-
Carmel was the sacrifice and the offering.
Was it
Okay, well,
Yeah.
what he was on a
Herman?
mountain.
Herman?
But no, it's weird though, is that they claim that Mount Sinai is not the Mount Sinai that the
Of the
monastery is built at. It's a different mountain that's like scorched at the top. But Elijah's cave is right by Mount Sinai. So it makes you wonder
Yeah.
if it's the same
Yeah.
time dilation
100%.
cloud. All right.
Because God is outside of time. Jesus is
Yeah.
God.
He
Right.
literally opened a portal and had that commune
What a trip.
with the heroes of the faith, dude. Like,
And God's thinking I have to have 3 meetings.
oh, dude,
I have to have 3 meetings with 3 different guys.
I'm just gonna knock him out at once.
Let's just do it all
Dude.
together. Come on, let's make it efficient.
it's the literal cloud of witnesses.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So the inverse of that, or the opposite, this cloud, this demonic cloud that also there's some like
The
Every-
cloud
perversion.
of witnesses.
we're scatterbrained right now. Let's bring it in.
Nah, dude, I've had too much Red Bull.
There's
We're
like
filming late.
like if that is not necessarily like we would call it like a technology,
Yeah.
but like a spiritual power, because that's a lot of alien abductions they talk about missing time, where they're on this craft and then they're like, I thought I was on there for like maybe 5 minutes. It was, what's his face?
The Barney Hills?
Not Betty Martin. That was their story too. But the guy that mustache, he was a logger, got taken up. He thought he was only gone for like maybe an hour or something, but he was gone for 5 days. So there's something with time.
Distortion of time. What a trip. Wow.
And it keeps happening. It's a common theme for people who don't even know each other's stories. So it is very interesting. That's gotta have a part of it.
And that's why I think, full circle, I think blurry creatures, they're gonna hate me for saying this, but I really think that aliens, it's a demonic, and demonic's just a broad term, I think, for entities that we don't even know about. But dark, sinister, not good.
Yeah.
So I think angels would work differently, right? I think they just work differently. Like they would want to be.
Yeah.
They want to differentiate.
Well, especially because like I've been like super deep into like studying church history and like the stories of these desert fathers and stuff and their interactions with like demons and the demonic. And I just read that book about St. Anthony the Great. And he basically splits the difference between like angels and demons. Like if an angel's talking to you, there's an aspect of fear because you're just like, what the heck is going on? But like if there's an instant comforting of just like, do not fear, I am sent from the Lord, like blah 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 blah, you know that's an angel. And if they sense your fear and prey on your fear and incite more fear, clearly demonic. And so it's like you read about these alien abductions or watch them, listen to them. It's all fear-based. Like you rarely hear an alien abduction where it's like, it was just so comforting and like they were so loving and like there's always a fear aspect to it and like preying on your fears and
and that's the difference because every time that someone interacts with an angel in the Bible, most of the time, every interaction, I'm saying most because I don't know, but every time I've read about it that I can recall, the first thing they say is, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. They try to nip that in the bud immediately.
Yeah.
So the fact that we would linger on it and it would just be a constant thing that we live in.
But then there's also like the deception side of it too, where like people have these encounters and they say like they just feel this overwhelming like feeling of love and warmth.
Yeah.
And then you like look into the stories and you're like, I don't know that this is a good thing. Like discernment starts to like
for sure
kick up. So it's like, I don't know. It's hard to say either way, but to the point you're making, like our aliens, demons, I think when people have encounters with stuff, like we would call it alien flat out just because that's the word we use. But then there needs to be discernment and discretion if one of these things was to actually exist. To your point, like where are you actually from? Like God does use messengers, you know, like I don't know what that looks like in every situation. So there's a chance like you're really going to encounter something that to you is alien, but in the context of biblical history, you're interacting with a messenger. And that doesn't necessarily have to be demonic or evil, but then you get, you know, it can get culty real fast with those encounters.
It just seems that there's more and more people that are becoming more open to them not 100% being demonic, in that cherubim and these other types of angels. And I want to say, I think that's the blurry creatures position on it, is like there could be the Old Testament crazy looking angels.
Yeah, and I could side with that a little bit too, but like, especially when it comes to, you hear more of when people interact with these things, there's deception and fear and how they even talk about themselves. A lot of the people that are abducted by aliens, it is like almost parallel to people that go through satanic ritual abuse. Like it's almost dead on. And so it's like, well, there's something there, you know, that's not just a coincidence.
Yep. But I think, is it fair to say that it's unanimously agreed upon that they're not coming from another galaxy, that these are not beings?
I think they would say that.
Yeah. Because I went down that rabbit hole and discovered, is it Einstein's theory of relativity or whatever, that you can't go faster than the speed of light, and that the closest galaxy to us is hundreds of millions of light years away.
Yeah.
So in order for them to, if it was actually physical beings coming from another galaxy, they would have to be billions of years old, have to go faster than the speed of light, would have to have an infinite amount of fuel or something.
Yeah.
And just going that fast, the crafts would break down because of how much space rocks there are.
Yeah.
And so like when I went down that rabbit hole, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, it's probably unlikely this is coming from another galaxy.
Yeah.
So therefore they have to be interdimensional and coming from another dimension.
Yeah. But I mean, then you could probably argue, well, there is something to that technology which manipulates time in some sense.
Okay.
Like they almost like exit time on Earth. So like, which I saw this TikTok the other day and it like about gave me a panic attack talking about just time and like time is nothing. It's like if there's a black hole, if you go towards the center of that black hole, time is basically stopped. Like there's no time in that. But the further away you are from the black hole, there's time. Yeah. And so it's like, I mean, it's like interstellar, right? That's like the concept. They go to this planet and every minute is like 7 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Like that's a real, that's
really
a real happens.
Possibility you're saying.
You know, yeah.
In terms of the wormholes and the black holes.
Yeah.
And we have to, it's hard to separate ourselves from what we already know as far as like time, you know, because if time doesn't exist, maybe fuel in the way we think doesn't exist. And physical matter doesn't exist the way we think it exists. So it's like, who knows? Yeah. Like who truly knows what it's like out there?
I start tripping on like, does time exist if there's nothing there to perceive the passing of it?
Yeah.
Like,
well, if a tree falls in the middle,
I mean,
of the
yeah,
woods,
you start asking those questions though, because like
no one
in
hears
Interstellar, like time changes, but his heart beats at the same rate. So like, what it was not a BPM anymore. It's
that
like,
movie has such a sad ending.
I know.
I hate
It's
It's
ruins
mid.
me.
It's mid. Don't leave him, Murr.
I can't. It's hard. It's a hard watch.
This reminded me, I saw this story today. I thought it was really cool. Connected. I'm just connecting it to alien abductions, but like one of the earliest ones.
Okay.
700 AD. John the Abbot was his name. It's not really an alien abduction, but it kind of, I feel like it parallels a little bit because it's spooky.
It's ninjas. We can make it that.
So John the Abbot was from Ravenna, and he had a monastery there, and it burnt down. And all these land grabbers were like, "Okay, now we're gonna overtake your monastery land." And so he's like, "No, I gotta go get the just basically help from the emperor of Constantinople." And so he went to Constantinople. He traveled and basically went to the emperor. The emperor's like, "Okay, you can save your monastery. It's your land." And so he did this whole seal on a scroll thing that he was supposed to bring back to the local governor of Ravenna. And during this time, it was starting to become winter, so the seas were super rough, and he could not find a ship. And he had to get back to Ravenna in a certain time frame in order for him to make the court appearance or whatever.
Or they would just overtake it.
But the sailing to Ravenna was like over a month long journey. And he's just like, there's no ships. I don't know what to do. He was like just sad and like crying. He's like, I don't know what to do. All of a sudden, 3 men walk up to him. Weird story. All dressed in black, very mysterious looking. They said, "John the Abbot, we see that you can't find a ship. We can help you." And he's like, "Okay." And he's like, "We don't have a ship, but watch this." And they said, "Grab this stick, draw a ship in the sand." And they said, "But don't miss a detail. Draw the oars, the sails, the stern, everything." And so he draws it out. And they say, "Lay in the middle of your drawing." And they said, "What's about to happen? You'll hear noises. You'll hear storms. You'll hear people screaming. Don't make a noise. Don't let anyone know that you're there. And whatever you do, don't make the sign of the cross." And he did it. And instantly when he laid down, darkness overtook him, storm, sailors screaming. And then, boom, he woke up on the roof of his monastery. And he's like, what just happened? And so he's calling down to his monks, "Hey, get me down from here." And they're like, "Surely this is a demon up on the roof." Because he was supposed to be in Constantinople. And so he had to list them all by name. And they're like, "All right, here's a ladder." He goes down. He brings the scroll to the governor. He opens it. And the governor goes, "This is forgery. This was dated to yesterday. There's no way you can sail from Constantinople to here in one day." And so he instantly went to, I think it was the patriarch or the bishop or whatever in Ravenna, and basically was like, I made a deal with demons to get here. And so he repented, did his penance, whatever, and they said that he lived the rest of his life in peace. But I'm like, that sounds like an alien thing.
Yeah.
Very.
Like a transportation, time disorientation, like.
Yeah.
But the whole don't make the sign of the cross. I'm just like.
Yeah, don't make the sign of the cross. Is spooky.
That's spooky.
Makes me want to make the sign of the cross right now.
But like, why would they help him continue the monastery then?
That's a great question.
Like, do they know something that we don't?
Maybe to have something on him.
Yeah,
like
because he instantly was denied because of it. They knew, like, he maybe didn't think that he would instantly be denied for forgery or whatever.
Yeah.
So that maybe was able to shut him down for sure.
Maybe like a little. You can do this and get this.
Mm-hmm. That's that's so weird.
Isn't that weird?
It's scary, man.
Spooky.
That's spooky. I think about how many times in general we make little compromises like that and don't think about it, right? And then have to repent of stuff
without a physical, like, 3 people in black suits, walking in front of us,
and the utility of travel.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Speaking of people in black suits, I have a crazy story of the origin of the Grim Reaper. Right after this ad, so don't go anywhere.
I have to wait.
Your boy's gotta pee. What's going on, guys? Andrew here. I want to tell you about our Patreon account. We go so far down the rabbit hole, you're never going to find your way out. There's stuff we can't even post on YouTube without it getting flagged. And all of that stuff exists at patreon.com/ninjas or butterflies. We got early released episodes. We got weekly bonus episodes, merch discounts, first access to merch like the shirt I'm wearing right here, and so much more. So if you want to go deeper with us, if you want to see what we can't post on YouTube, join our Patreon. It's a lot of fun. Merch discounts, Discord access, stuff I'm sure I'm forgetting about. Just go check it out. It's worth it. I promise you. Okay, love you. Bye.
Anyway, the same guys that are doing Bryce Crawford's energy drink are going to do one for me. But I'm trying to do like an actual Yerba-based, like real Yerba-based energy drink, not like
a super Christian energy drink.
Super Christian. No, mine's isn't going to be praise energy. No.
Pentecostal punch.
Pentecostal punch is wild, dog.
Do you want to speak in tongues?
Take a sip. That would be such a funny 90s commercial.
Pentecostal punch. Just a portal opens.
Coming in a Honda, living in a Yamaha.
Yeah.
Shit about a Honda, about a Kia.
I wish that could have been a video that we just like, hey, if you're scared that you don't know how to speak in tongues, but you're going to be judged by your congregation, here's some phrases you can memorize.
That's good.
Oh, man.
Oh, that was good. That was a nice little break.
Man, what an ad.
What an ad.
Golly. You remember that?
I'm going to copy your guys' ads, just so you guys know.
You can try.
I'm
We'll sue.
We will sue.
Oh my goodness. I feel like a polar bear drinking this.
Yeah. Now that we've fired Lily from the pod, this is kind of a nice fill-in.
Dude.
Yeah.
Why did you guys fire Lily?
Vibes are great.
They're just, it's for obvious reasons. Everyone comment your favorite reason why we fired Lily.
Oh my gosh. Is she really not coming back?
No, she is.
Oh, okay.
She's
I was like, she wasn't here last time I was here.
She's not.
She hasn't been here any time I've been here.
No, anytime she gets like, we're like, hey, we're bringing on a guest. She's like, peace.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is she like nervous or?
No, she
likes a break.
She likes a break.
She also has personal problems with you, but it's fine.
Her thing was like
10 other people right now.
Get in line.
She's like, she's a stay-at-home mom, so she's with the kids all day and just does all the mom stuff. And she's like, my only break is doing your podcast. I want like a real break.
Aww.
And it's just the only break she gets is just
tough.
full of anxiety. It's just like, hey, take a break. And here's a bunch of things you have to worry about.
And she shows up and we just gaslight her from the room.
Yeah.
I just want to be loved.
It's terrible.
Hilarious.
Speaking of gaslighting.
Yeah.
Did you hear about your home state, that mayor?
Yes. She's working with China? Is that
China.
correct?
I haven't heard anything about this.
Bro. Yes. I saw it. I read a allsides.com article on it, just giving me the basic stuff. And I was like, this is crazy, dog.
Yeah, so Aline Wang.
Okay.
Which, already maybe.
Red flag.
So she was the mayor of Arcadia.
Okay.
Never heard of it.
I've
never heard of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
So it's that small
It's
then?
a small town.
Okay, well, she was just arrested for basically working with the Chinese government for pushing Chinese propaganda, like targeting Chinese citizens in the United States for pushing Beijing propaganda.
And that's illegal.
Apparently.
Okay.
It happened. So she's one of 5. The whatever council or town council or whatever, they share the responsibility and at times title, I believe, of mayor.
Yeah.
And she did all of that stuff before, but when she got sworn in and to protect the Constitution of the United, she didn't disclose any of her previous alliances or workings in the community that she had been. So who knows how true it is, but no, that was before is the whatever. She pled guilty to doing that, but not disclosing that she had done it.
Yeah. So before it was kind of frowned upon, but when she's officially paid by the federal
and sworn in
by the federal government, and now being paid also by another federal government of a foreign agency.
Was she? I don't know. Was she currently being paid?
I don't know, but you'd be like, okay, well, what's the big deal with that?
Yeah.
Authorities say that she communicated with Chinese officials through encrypted apps and coordinated messaging efforts.
But who hasn't done that, Josh?
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, who hasn't done it? We've all been there.
Yeah.
Golly, man.
Did you see the thing about her fiance too?
No.
He was I believe currently incarcerated for some sort of nefarious something or other as well. So the fact that she was holding office with the ties that she had, the whole thing's do you guys not vet people at all before allowing them to take positions?
How did she get caught?
So, I don't know, actually.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
I only correct you guys. I don't offer new information. So don't ask me
Sounds
questions.
a lot like you're protecting her.
Interesting.
The one Asian.
Are you Chinese propagandist?
Where's that gong?
He did come into the company at the perfect time.
Ni hao, xie xie.
I wonder how much
The walls fall again.
Gigi?
Please don't do an Asian accent. Please don't do an Asian accent.
Ruslan, you do it now.
No.
Ruslan just did an Asian accent?
AI's that good. We should take a clip of his voice and
easily
swap it in.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're recruiting a random mayor and city council people in Arcadia, which is a city in my state that I've never heard of. What else are they doing? And who else are they recruiting?
But was she even recruited? Or was it a plant? That's the interesting thing. Was this the long game?
Mm-hmm.
In the great big city of Arcadia.
That's like the old Russian Cold
War. I gotta
War.
even look up where that is on the map, man.
It says right outside of L.A.
It's inside of Chuck E. Cheese and Dave & Buster's.
That has to be
play at the Arcadia
such
all the time.
Small city, man. Arcadia. I may have seen the sign before.
I feel like I've heard of it, right?
It's in. There's an Arcadia in Florida.
Arcade. You've heard of arcades.
Yeah.
This is like a tiny town, man. Because it's like Whittier, Arcadia.
But that's what they would least suspect, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. What was the end game? What were they trying to get her to do? Just propagate Chinese nonsense?
What I saw is that she was working previously with Chinese immigrants, and she was politically involved in helping them understand how to vote and stuff like that. That was her political. And this isn't gospel. This is me trying to remember the thing that I read really quick to talk about it.
Yeah.
But I believe that was she had been working with immigrants, gathering people together, and basically had become this is how you do this. These are the ways that we want to operate here.
Mm-hmm.
Allegedly, all before her position.
And she's in jail right now. Or is she just arrested?
So I guess
Good question.
She pled guilty for acting as an unregistered agent of the Chinese government.
Because that was the thing. She didn't disclose upon taking the position that she had previously done that.
Yeah. Yikes.
So all I can figure is if she's that plugged in and she's accepting this accusation, she's got to know some little loophole to how she was doing it where she knows she's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Sus.
Loophole.
Yeah. Yeah, my brain just goes, who else is looped in on this in government? Yeah. What other media voices are in on this? Who else is sowing discord and disinformation?
100%. They're too smart.
Yeah.
This isn't we didn't just catch the one and we're like, we got him. Yeah. If it's happening there, it's happening everywhere.
It's weird timing that the story broke. I'm just now thinking of
as
that.
we go to Trump is in China. Or by the time this comes out, he's not in China, but he was in China.
But it's interesting. The stories kind of breaking or happening at the same time.
Did you see the video of Elon in China?
No.
He was just like, they were like doing the big old like celebration in the front steps. He was just walking around. He's just like a little kid.
Yeah, that whole thing's very interesting. A little spooky.
Yeah.
It's all very strange.
They're paying
I
for
have
the ball.
I have all sorts of theories, man. I think Carlson is definitely in it with some of the Middle Eastern funders and handlers. You know, all of a sudden he's flip-flopped on every position he's ever held.
It's interesting.
And he's very sympathetic to Islam, and I mean, it's Sharia law. It's not that bad. Well, what? It's, you know, it's just Islam just means submission. It's like, dog, who is paying you, bro? Like, what is going on?
He's had the weirdest flip, dude.
On everything. On
Yeah.
name an issue, he is completely 180. He had a guy on that I know personally, full on pushing socialism on there. Like, full on, like, yeah, like socialism is, and he's like, yeah, better
Very
than,
strange.
I'm like, what are you doing, bro?
Personally, I would actually love to have Tucker on this podcast, but I think he's probably working for Russia.
Yeah.
I think
that
so.
surprised me. Would you?
I don't know.
I don't trust a man that holsters his nicotine.
He has got a little buckle for his but also he is it the FBI or CIA his dad worked for.
Yep.
He also applied, got denied,
Lived in
From-
Russia for a time.
was able to access Putin seemingly like a
Like
drop of a dime.
The only like news anchor that was able to do that.
Anybody in America.
Yeah.
Anybody.
He was really surprised they had bread at the grocery store. You guys remember that clip? Where he
Yeah,
was like,
yeah, yeah.
I got bread.
It's like, where are you living, bro?
Where do you live, bro?
He just had on, I didn't watch the full, I just saw clips. He had on this lady that worked for Zelensky
Mhm.
in Ukraine, like his like a PR team, something. And like she came on there basically bashing Zelensky and the Ukraine efforts and stuff like that. Like it seems, I don't know. It seems strange.
The Russia
But-
thing would make a lot of sense for sure. The Russia thing,
Because I think he went to college and I know he went to college, but I think his degree was in like Russian history, I believe. I could be wrong.
I'll look it up.
Look that up.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't trust anyone who's been on Dancing with the Stars.
He's been on Dancing with the Stars.
Look it up. It's not great dancing, but he was on Dancing with the Stars, and it's
Random fact.
it's crazy. He's
Yeah.
wearing a silk shirt and everything. You don't trust a guy in a silk shirt.
Yeah.
Again, Tucker, would love to have you on, buddy.
Anybody on? We'd love to have Tucker on.
What a
Xi
Vladimir
Jinping,
Putin.
come
Xi
on,
Jinping, come
All
on.
right, let's go. Let's do it.
You guys seen his I was sexually assaulted by demons story?
Tucker?
You guys ain't seen that?
No.
No.
Oh yeah. So my buddies were working on a documentary and they went and interviewed him, and he shares this whole story of demons in his bed while he was sleeping with his dogs. He's either I was going to say an inappropriate word, but he's basically retells the story of he thinks demons attacked him while he was in his bed and scratched up his back while he was sleeping with his dogs.
I've never heard this.
Yeah, which I go, you were sleeping with your dogs. Like, you sure it wasn't your big old dogs that you sleep with?
Yeah.
And he's convinced that they were demons, and he basically says that's kind of the pathway that he used to come back to God, if you will.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a pretty viral story. Yeah,
I've never heard this.
Interesting.
That's crazy.
it's really good. Yeah, maybe we can throw like a headline on there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't find anything.
Did he elaborate on it? Like
It's a whole video. It's like a whole 10 minutes to him retelling
on
the
his
story.
podcast?
It was
Or-
on. So there's a documentary
buddy's
being
pod,
worked on.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
they're called
okay.
Christianities, and John Hare's just doing the interview,
Yeah.
and it's super interesting. And yeah, he's just going. This is a couple years ago. He's just going on and on and on, and it went like mega viral. And yeah, and he so it's like you got essayed by aliens or demons.
Very
crazy.
interesting.
Weird.
I mean, that's a story that's happened to so many people, though, too. That's crazy.
Isn't it? It's so weird that these are like the people at the forefront of like conversations in the media we consume. But if you took any of these people and put them in like a small group that you're a part of and that drops, you're like, who the freak is this guy? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
but somehow those are the like loudest voices in the world we live in.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, there you go. Tucker says demons attacked him in his sleep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very
TMZ.
interesting.
come on the
TMZ.
show. Come
most
on the show
reliable
and
source.
defend your position, sir. Love to
Debate
hear
me or
it.
you're gay. Debate me or you're gay. Debate me or you're gay.
Oh, nice.
Grandpa's dying words.
Well, it seems weird that the media, I don't know, it seems recently, I know it's not recent, but it seems like maybe post-COVID, you can now view the media as it's like there's like always a narrative being painted, you know, like very skeptical of like what media is, especially if they're all talking about the same thing.
At the same time.
Especially this hantavirus coming out, you know, where it's just like they're really trying to like build this fear with this hantavirus, but it's like yet 3 people have died.
Yeah.
And like it's not something that is very, they said like to contract it is very hard.
Yeah.
But they're building this whole narrative with this hantavirus and stuff. But then at the same time, right under the little table, this story about the Disney cruise breaks. I don't know if you heard about this.
I haven't heard about the Disney.
Oh, wow, dude. Yeah. This is very weird time.
I say breaks, but because it's very not on a ton of sources and stuff or like news channels.
No, not at all.
But Disney Cruise, there was just an FBI bust of over 20 employees on the Disney Cruise. We can bleep this out, I think, or somehow.
Say it how you want.
Acronym CP.
20 different Disney employees with CP
on the Disney Cruise.
Like together.
It was a CP ring that was happening on the cruise ship.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot of
Yeah.
people into the same thing.
In the same place.
In the same place.
But whether they were, I don't know the details, whether they were generating this material on the cruise, whether it was, I don't know what was happening, but it was employees on this cruise ship. So it's very strange that suddenly, as soon as we, you think about how powerful Disney is.
Well, also who they're owned by.
Yep.
Like we got basically BlackRock and stuff, like these big, like Fortune 500, whatever companies, they own like Disney, they own all the news channels. And it's like, well, we got to protect this asset. So like, let's talk about a cruise line in a different manner. And so like when you look up cruises, it's like, oh, hantavirus, that's some spooky.
Because as soon as you drop that, instantly, sorry to interrupt, instantly you have people saying, oh, I can't go back into a new, lockdown. I can't do a new COVID. Like, it's like, that's instantly where people's minds go. And that's where they wanted that out, that outcry.
Yeah. They want that fear.
Yeah.
So you don't know what hanta is in slang, right? You never found that out?
No.
Ooh.
It is.
It's a translation too.
Yeah, the nation of the 6-sided star.
Okay.
Yeah.
The red and blue nation.
Yep. It means it's their slang for nonsense, lies, a scam, or something fake.
Hanta?
Yeah.
Jeez.
It is. It's a translation for another language of false.
No way.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's terrible marketing.
It literally translates fake virus.
Terrible marketing.
No way.
Who picked that
Google
word?
it. Like unrelated. Google it. Right now for your own, like, so I didn't just see like an Instagram something or other. Because I saw it on Instagram, I was like, that can't be real. That's on the nose. And then it pulls up and I'm like, well,
Yeah, that's bad marketing. They need to fire whoever.
Hanta in Hebrew and Hungarian slang means nonsense, a lie, or a scam.
Like the way they use it is full of crap.
How do you guys spelling it? Because when I spelled Hanta, I spelled it Hanta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, mine came up in Hebrew. Hanta is a verb that means she parked or she embalmed. The word Hanta recently started getting there's online rumors.
Listen, she parked. Have you ever seen a female parallel park? It's impossible. It's false news. It's fake, right? That's what it's saying.
Hanta in the Lakota, Native American, means move out of the way or move it.
We're like the topical preachers right now. We're just trying to find.
And if you look back at the Lakota, Hanta, move out of the way.
You guys really think that they would try to do another lockdown?
They tried it with was it the Omicron or the
that's what it was called. Okay, let me. Geez,
do you remember that?
There was another variant where they tried to start like pushing another.
And people
variant.
are like,
Nah.
I think they're gearing up for something. I talk about the ticks all the time because it's like in the woods, and but like the fact that there are vaccines that have been like patented and like they're working on like alpha gal with the ticks is a thing. They're trying to shut down red meat. It's like I think they're gearing up to convince people to get a prick again in some sort.
Really?
There's another patent we talked about last week. And I couldn't remember what it's called. I still don't, but I did find it. So if you go back to 190, what episode? What are we doing now? 196?
Yeah.
So if you go back and watch 195, I popped it on the screen, the actual patent number. But there's a protein, and it encases the protein, and they can use radiation like from stuff that's around us now, like kind of 5G stuff. It's literally patented, but they dissolve the outer casing so you could be injected with something, be a carrier of this unknown substance, hormone modifier, behavior modifier. You could carry it for who knows how long, but when they hit with a frequency, that targeted frequency would dissolve the outer layer of this cell. So whatever's encased in it, it's a timed release that they control the time. So I think they're gearing up for like, we need to get everybody to get on something so that we can.
A literal sleeper cell.
Yeah. I mean, literally.
It's crazy.
It sounds crazy, but you can look up the patent.
Yeah.
Who owns the patent?
Oh, what did I say? It was
the Rockefellers.
Rockefellers. Thank you. It's on the screen. go back. I don't remember what it's called.
I mean, you guys are in Florida, so I didn't realize this. When the pandemic was happening, I came here to go to Disneyland in August of 2021. Okay, and it was such a culture shock coming from San Diego because stuff was still shut down and everybody was a mask. And I remember coming and we went to downtown Disney and I did not see a mask anywhere. And I was like, oh, Florida is like God's country for real. Like, this is crazy. So I don't think you guys got anything to worry about. Y'all just do what you want.
Yeah, we
just Florida.
Just wrestle gators.
We're on our own timeline.
Yeah.
Fun fact, what I learned this week from Larry, who may or may not be our guest next week. So Delta and the Omicron were the two variants of COVID, right?
Yeah.
That came out like a year later or something that they were discovered. Fun little fact. People even made merch out of it. But Delta and Omicron, all the letters spell out media control. Which I was like, oh, this is perfect. But then I'm like, oh, you could probably do that with anything. But it's like one of those things where it's like,
that's crazy.
There's people hiding in plain sight. You never know.
I mean, that kind of seems to be like something that they've always done. Is just kind of like, it's a weird thing. But isn't there like a terminology to that? Like where it's like, I don't know. It's like people that do, it's like I don't know, like an Illuminati Freemasonry kind of thing where it's like, you can tell the truth or you
almost have to.
Yeah. It's like you have to present like the truth, but you can disguise it for it. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy kind of thing. I don't know.
It's like an initiation almost. Like you see all those like, comedians or actors that come on talk shows and they'll make silly tweets or jokes about being in the Illuminati or eating babies, all this stuff. And it's like, oh, it's a joke. He's playing around. But it's like, but is it? You have a rap artist that do music videos of demonic worship and sacrifices. And it's like, where do you get that from? Like, where's you're sitting around in your room and you're just brainstorming, like, what should our music video be about? And like, that's where you land on?
Yeah.
It's really weird to me. Do you have any thoughts on that? Like, especially in the music video.
I used to think it was like hiring artsy fartsy weirdo people to do your treatments, but even then, even if that's true, even if it's like Jay-Z's not creating the treatment himself, right? And it's some weird artist that's into all this occult stuff, you're still responsible. Like you're still on the hook for whatever this thing is that you're putting out there. So that's what I used to think. I think as I've gotten older, I think it's a more of a subtle intoxication with things of the occult that is probably unconscious. Meaning if you sit down with Travis Scott or Jay-Z or whoever these guys are that are dabbling in this energy, who's the other guy? Playboy Cardi is like with the pentagrams, just like flat out satanic stuff. I don't think they think that they're doing stuff that's bad. I think they think there's just vibes and, we're just trying to be
People are going to
creative.
talk about it.
Yeah, people are going to talk about it. It's a satanic panic. We're going to get people talking about it. But I think there's something on a spiritual level that's gravitating them towards these demonic visuals for whatever reason. And it might be subconscious. It might be on a spiritual level. But yeah, it's terrible.
And you see, even recently, like someone who like Doja Cat or whatever, like someone who's, you had a real high peak, and then suddenly you don't really hear about them, and then suddenly they come out with a very demonic, they're going to the fashion week in these very weird costumes and very strange music videos with subliminal messages and stuff like that. And you're like, maybe that is for them just to create hype about themselves and create conversation. But it just seems
I think
like a weird hill to die on.
People want attention at any cost.
Yeah.
And I don't know, how do I say this gently? I don't know how much time you guys have spent in LA, but there is a weird like energy to the city.
Yeah.
You know, outside of the smog and the terrible air quality that you just see, just this haze of all over it. There's just a weirdness in LA.
Yeah.
We had our event in LA, and it was like the hardest, weirdest opposition on every front that we've ever dealt with.
What do you think is the cause of the weirdness that is LA?
I think there's like a spirit. I think there's a spirit over the city. Yeah, I think there's a spirit over the city. I think you overlap that with entertainment, lust of the eyes, lust of the flesh, pride of life. That's what's going to sell. And I think you have by any means necessary, we're going to make these things. And there's like there's a weirdness over it.
Yeah.
And it's a brain rot. Like it's hard to explain. New York has something similar, but New York isn't like LA. Like I'd much rather go hang out in New York than LA. I dread LA. I have friends that live on the outskirts, like near Glendale, and that's different. But I'm talking like when you're like in Hollywood, like it's just, it's thick, man.
Yeah.
It's thick. Yeah.
And do you think it's because of years of that? Like that they've just built it up. It's just become the culture.
I think so. I think it's part mind virus, part culture values, part just the hardness of living in a place that has such poor air quality, such bad traffic, and is so expensive to live there. So you're just getting pounded on every measurable. Like your health is crap. If you're asthmatic or you have allergies, you're cooked, right? You sit in traffic for 45 minutes a day for a 5-mile drive.
Yeah.
And you have this entertainment desperate, like, oh, I'm trying to get on and like be an actor. And then like I think
fake.
Marvel just fired 1,000 people, you know?
I saw that.
Yeah, bro. And so it's like, it's just like a hard life. But here's the silver lining. Here's the beautiful part, which I think could be something potentially hopeful. I was just with John Irwin, and they did the Moses short story, old stories Moses premiere. Was that last night?
Did you watch it?
It was 2 nights ago.
Yeah, I
I
did 2
think
nights
so.
ago.
Yeah.
It was phenomenal.
Really?
It was really
Cool.
good. Yeah, the way they did it is cool because it comes out of House of David.
Oh, sick.
So it overlaps. I probably shouldn't be spoiling this. This will come out after it's already out. So it comes out of that. So it starts as like a House of David episode, and then it goes into David's dad telling them about Moses.
No way.
And then it flashes back to Moses.
That's
That's
cool.
very cool.
And it's like a 20-minute episode, right? But dig this. They shot this on the Amazon set in LA, where almost 100 years ago to the date, the very first thing that was getting shot in LA on the same Amazon set, the same place, is biblical stories.
Oh,
So the very first things that were shot for Hollywood were Bible stories.
no way.
Fun.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And now you full circle, 100
That's
years
cool.
later, almost to the date.
Yeah.
And you have House of David, Moses, Wonder Project, shooting stuff in LA while everything is shutting down. John Irwin is on the cutting edge of learning how to use tech and have an AI stack and combine all these things. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this, but he's combining stack and he's just making stuff that's better for cheaper. And the market is so fertile with Christian media because it's always been here. People just didn't know. And so you got Amazon involved and these people are going out. And again, I'm not the biggest fan of Amazon as a company, but I do think that they're seeing like, there's like this ecosystem of Christian creators and Christian filmmakers and
People
Christian
want it.
artists. People want it. Man, we need to get in on this. Yeah. So I was super encouraged because generally I dread LA. I hate it. I hate it. I mean, you guys saw where I live. Like Oceanside Vista, super chill, blue collar, still normal. So
Well,
that's the one thing I'm holding out for.
Yeah, I went to school in Simi Valley, which is just outside of LA.
Uh-huh.
And anytime we go to LA, it was like, it was super hard. You could really feel there was just like like just kind of like a feeling.
And you see
like,
that over and over in time with creators who move there.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. I'm not generalizing everyone that lives in LA because I know there's people that live in LA that absolutely love Christ. But I had a good amount of friends that love Christ and then they move to LA and are no longer pursuing Christ. And it's like, that's weird. And it's like people from that didn't even know each other too. Like my friend group is just spread out.
People who are on fire.
Yeah,
For the
like
Lord.
working in the church and stuff, and then all of a sudden it's just like, no.
All right. Dig this.
Hmm.
You guys keeping up with this David case?
David.
D4VD.
No, we talked about it recently, but like, you know, like when it
Yeah.
came out when breaking over the car and the trunk and everything.
So this kid moves to LA. Family is Christian. He's posting Christian TikTok videos. He's doing Bible studies on the internet.
Didn't know that.
Full on. And people could look this up. What do you mean? Did a video about this showing him doing Bible studies. In the process, starts creating these ulterior characters, imagining killing his girlfriend, writing songs about it, and all this stuff as under the guise of like, it's just art. And I just have this alter ego. Yeah. And then before you know it, life imitates, or was it art? Life imitates art.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then he ends up knowing this girl through a Discord. She's like 11 when they meet. He's 16, 17. They start dating. And then, when they're together, she allegedly gets pregnant. They want to cover it up. She claims to expose him. And he takes out this 14-year-old and is now going to jail. And this is a kid who moved to LA with a Christian family. And I'm not talking a Christian face, culturally Christian. No, I'm talking up until months before this happened. He was posting Christian TikTok videos, man. He was reading the Bible and praying for people on TikTok, and ends up with a 14-year-old in the front of his Tesla.
Oh my gosh. Terrible. Well, this brings up, I've always thought this, and this sounds like super, I'm not trying to be like all, I don't know, sensationalize anything. But in scripture, it does talk about at one point that Satan basically set up his throne in this one city, right? And it's like Satan is not omnipresent. He can't just be like anytime you're tormented or whatever, it's not Satan. Like it's the darkness, the demons, whatever.
Yeah.
It's
your
all
own flesh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Satan, he sets up his throne in one place. And I've always jokingly like, oh, dude, it's LA. But like, I mean, where could it be, Because it's not where it was in scripture, because that place is no longer like culturally relevant. I don't know. It's like,
I mean, think about the global reach.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
He's not going to be in some desert
Yeah.
where there's no people.
Where can I have the most influence? Like he's a
totally.
corrupter. He's a liar. He's like, where can I tell the best lies and corrupt the most people? Like that's, I mean, that just makes sense.
I'm amazed every time I listen to British TV shows, talk shows, or Korean talk shows. Like I'll just get clips or watch clips on YouTube, and people will always reference. I always wonder, like, is the whole world watching what we're watching?
Mm-hmm.
And they are. Like they'll reference, John McClane or all these people that we've had in like cinema history, because they're watching what we're making.
yeah, Hollywood basically is global.
100%.
Yeah.
It 100% is. And so like that's the kind of thing. It's like you talk about influence. That's the like the epitome of influence.
Yeah.
Or
Very
it's
strange.
France.
No one's looking at France, dude.
Well, I think France is probably like fashion and like that stuff that's coming down.
Sounds
France
pretty
for sure.
satanic.
Fashion, satanic.
Yeah, I am hopeful in that. I think with the death of monoculture, that everything isn't like centralized to like a like think about like what was the last like mega star that we had, right? Like can't really think of anyone. I don't know. I can't think of anyone past maybe Justin Bieber. Like,
That's
or,
right? What I thought of, yeah.
Right, like that. Like, so we don't have monoculture anymore. Everything is so fragmented. Versus like the '80s when like I just saw the Michael movie and Michael was like
bonkers.
It was super famous. You don't have that anymore, and so I think like the pros of that is now you can have these different pockets of media and pockets of Christian music and pockets of Christians that are in music, right? Like you guys saw at the summit, like we had Jake, we had Paul Russell. These guys like love the Lord and they're mainstream secular artists, but it's stuff I could play with my kids in the car and I feel good about it, right? So I think there's something happening where though we don't have monoculture, but it's all separated, and then if you want good stuff, you can find good stuff.
Well, that's the cool thing too, that we are on the winning side.
Mm-hmm.
And like, if Satan has set up his throne in LA, guess what? He can be driven out.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the followers of Christ, that light penetrating that can like really, he can be like, this city is too much for me now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying it's LA. I'm not saying LA is Satan's
Sounds like you're saying.
No, you're saying LA is same throne.
No, I don't know.
If we had to pick one place.
In just one place. I don't know.
It's very strange. People from LA, comment below. Let us know.
Oh, we're gonna get torched. We're gonna get
You
torched.
seen Satan around?
No, man.
Dude, was it Tripoli who was on? And he was saying the same thing as someone who like came from it?
Yeah,
I think he was like doubling down on it.
Yeah, he's just saying like the California, LA area is just like, it's just different.
Yeah. Or even Rogan, without like spiritualizing it, he just like speaks to what it felt like and like why he needed to get out. So, you know, like I'm not putting spiritual words in his mouth, but like,
No,
it's
even
a
he will
real
say, like,
thing. He's like,
the oppression there is crazy. I mean, like
Yeah.
Skid Row is now 50 blocks wide. Like that's crazy.
Yeah. We had our event in Beverly Hills, and I'll spare you the details of how hard the event was. But let's just say this is the hardest event we've ever done. Like just so much opposition. But even after the event, because I don't want to dunk on the venue, but even after the event, we leave. We get a hotel in Beverly Hills, right? Because it's the day before Mother's Day. So my wife and everyone drives. Oh, we're going to hang out in Beverly Hills the next day. Like, cool. We get into the hotel. We're late. We're tired. There's a Thai restaurant across the street to go get food. So I go get food. It's like 12:30 in the morning, right? Or in the middle of the night. I order it on DoorDash. So I'm ready. I'm just going to pick it up. DoorDash pickup. Go over there. I get in and there's a car across the street, a white car, tinted windows across the street. I go in to get my food. When I go to get my food, the car does a U-turn and pulls up like 40 feet in front of me. So I'm like, that's weird. You know, like my hotel is right here, but there's this car right here, right in front of me. So I go back in the restaurant. I'm spooked out.
yeah.
I tell the owner looks at it. He's like, yeah, that's weird. Like, just stay in here. Sweet Asian guy. He ends up turning off the close sign, right? And so then I stand outside, and I'm now right in front of the restaurant just waiting, and a car reverses and goes and pulls up right in front of me. So I go back in the restaurant, right? And he's like, okay, just stay in here. Like, don't go outside anymore. Just stay in here. So I'm just chilling, and I'm like, I can't stay in here forever. I've been in there for like 10 minutes at this point. White car still out front. I go to him. I say, hey, man, is there like a way out of the back? And he's like, yeah. So he walks me through like the kitchen. It's like a movie. Like I'm walking through the kitchen. I'm going through, and then he like takes me out of this alley. And he's like, all right, here, don't make a left. Don't make the first left. Go to the main street. This is off of Beverly Hills and Wilshire. Like go to the main street, hit a left, and then just go straight to your hotel. I go to the main street. There's another white car having some weird confrontation with some dude who seems to be calling the police on it. And I'm like, is this the same white car? I don't know. So then I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna go for it. Like I just walk really fast. The car stops. That car is being weird. I got my food. I cross the main street. The other white car is still there. Okay. So then I just book it. And on Wilshire Boulevard with all of my Thai food, I trip and fall.
Oh,
And I got like sauce everywhere and curry all over me. So then I'm like picking it up, trying to like see if this car is still looking at me. And thankfully I got everything up, ran into the hotel. I'm like, bro, this is the weirdest night I have ever had in my life, covered in all this food. And I was like, was I about to get robbed? Like, did they recognize me? Like, what was going on? I don't know. And I'm not in the hood. Like, this is Beverly Hills, right? Yeah. I'm in the good part of town, and I was spooked out. Dang. You know, and my wife, like, I couldn't tell. Like, am I being paranoid, or like, am I just situationally aware?
I'm still a skeptic. I think he crapped himself and covered it up.
And that leads me to my new poop story.
I promise it's curry, babe.
Probably won't tie that again.
Hey, whoa. You've been mad that you didn't come up with an egg pun since then.
That's crazy.
Dude, you've really curried this episode.
Sorry. Yeah, man.
You really curried
Dude, my brain when he said curry went straight to poop. All them freaking newborn diaper changes, dude. It's traumatic.
Well, speaking of curry.
You had a baby?
I did.
Hey,
I had a baby.
congratulations.
Yeah.
Guys, everyone
Thanks.
congratulate Andrew in the comments. He
Thank
had a baby.
He had a baby. All right. The Grim Reaper.
Ooh.
Do you know the origin story of the Grim Reaper?
I don't. Growing up, everyone knows about the Grim Reaper. We don't know where he came from.
I'm kind of shocked we didn't do that with how long we've been doing the show.
I know. Well, because I saw it on this video today, and we'll put their little YouTube here so they can get some credit. But in 1559 in Brandenburg, Germany, these villagers were out, and they looked out in the field, and they said what appeared was 15 and then 12 hooded men. They described them as dressed in black, having terrifying and distorted faces.
Ugh.
Some having, this says, quote, little heads besides their posteriors. I don't know what that means. Says possibly meaning grotesque deformities or demonic imagery, carrying long scythes like sickles.
Yeah.
And what they were doing, they're just standing in this field, just swinging their sickles. But they were just making these strange noises of vroom, vroom. But every time they swung, the grain wasn't falling. And then as everyone's watching them, they're like, this is the scariest looking thing ever. And then disappeared.
Gone.
The next day, boom, bubonic plague hits that village.
Whoa.
And you're like, well, that's weird, right?
Yeah.
This happened all over Europe. People were talking about in fields, walking down streets, these hooded men with these sickle-like things. So it was in, I think, Holland. They were walking down the streets, just swinging their sickles and going to doors and just doing it to the doors. And people were like, who are these people? Boom, disappeared. Next day, every door that they swung their sickles, dead. Plague, famine.
Holy moly.
Jeez.
And so it started growing into where they grew into the Grim Reaper. So that Grim Reaper has like real lore behind it.
Yeah. It's death visiting you.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
crazy.
It's weird.
I mean, it had to have came from something. Golly, dude. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. What is it?
Bill Gates is a time traveler, dude. They're just weird hazmat suits. He's spraying stuff.
Yeah. Well, they even talk about it because they the only way they could describe it as is the sickles or the scythes or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's like one account where it's like it sounded like something that was spraying, like a sprayer.
Yeah.
Like, so like this rod that was in the sickle part was actual like a spray.
Yeah.
Population
That's
control, dude.
Interesting, man.
Weird.
That's spooky.
I wonder why the sickle. You know, like that, like, because it was obviously used to
reaping.
cut. Yeah, like, reap what you sow. Reap what you sow.
What did you just say?
Say that again. But yeah, that is interesting. I
Yeah.
wonder if there's any. I mean, this is where my mind went. But like when you say field and you say sickle, it makes me think of crop circles.
Yeah, I did.
I wonder if there is like correlation between crop circles and like
There's not.
death. You looked it up.
There's nothing connected to it.
Darn. That's scary, dude. Could you imagine? Like
Yeah.
not knowing, like, because obviously we see a guy in a hooded, like black cloak, and we see a sickle. We like
Driving a
that's
white
Grim Reaper.
Mercedes.
A white car with tinted windows.
Think about how scary that has to be, though. If you're in the town, everyone around you starts dying, so you dip to the next town and you start telling everybody these hooded figures showed up.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's spooky. This dude's crazy, though. I don't know, like what he's doing in our town, and then the hooded people show up.
Yeah. Well, that was the weirdest part too, is that it wasn't just like a very regional lore.
Yeah.
It was a lot of countries in Europe that were getting hit by the bubonic plague, which I looked up the bubonic plague too. And I'm like, the 1500s. I'm like, I thought it was way earlier than that. It was like the 1300s when it first hit Europe. And they say 50 to 60% of Europeans died in the bubonic plague.
Oh my gosh.
Terrifying.
But it would come in waves after.
Yes.
So it wasn't just like,
You think it's over.
it's done.
Yeah.
It's like, no, this is the 1500s. This is 200 years later.
It's
A
still
wave
coming.
would hit. And it would just wipe out that village.
It's from rats, right?
Yeah.
Supposedly.
Fleas and the rats.
Oh yeah, it was the fleas on the rats. Reminds me of the Billy and Mandy. Do you guys remember that? The Adventures of the Billy and Mandy? It was the Grim Reaper. Like he was one of the cartoon characters.
No.
You don't remember that?
No.
Golly,
I
that was
remember a Reaper cartoon, but I don't remember anything about it.
yeah, that was
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It was a Cartoon
Oh,
Network,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I drew the line at Cartoon Network. Always those vibes.
I don't think I was allowed to watch it really.
just messed me
it
up.
was pretty good.
It got dark after
Yeah.
dark. I remember.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
Adult,
Dark is
Adult
weird.
Swim.
What
Yeah,
is this
dude.
stuff, man?
Yeah.
This is weird.
It's like,
Adult
oh, it's a
Swim.
cartoon. Oh my gosh, what is this?
I prefer racist Bugs Bunny.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll take.
Oh man. Aliens, Grim Reaper. Very happy Reaper.
Yeah.
He's happy what he sowed.
Yes.
We got an episode right after this, right?
Yeah.
Ruslan,
you
are you
sure?
cool for a Patreon episode right after
Sure.
this?
Let's do it.
We're gonna run it back with Ruslan KD, folks. Ruslan, before we go, tell everyone where they can find you, what you got to plug, what you got going on.
Yeah, Ruslan KD on all platforms. The new book, Godly Ambition, is out. It's a USA Today bestseller. I couldn't reach New York Times bestsellers list, but we did reach USA Today bestseller. And I think
You just call it a bestseller.
A bestseller. I'm a best-selling author.
Dang.
At the time of this recording, I want to say it's like $15 on Amazon. Amazon's running a sale right now, which they can pick it up there. Godly Ambition is all about using your talent, your treasure to reach your full potential and walking people through stuff like purpose and calling. You guys got a copy of it right there. Let's go. Yeah, so it's been really cool. Like the feedback of the book has definitely went beyond just my core YouTube audience. Yeah. And I have
tilt it down, it's kind of blown out. There you go.
Yeah, I've had a blast just meeting folks that like are reading it. It's a trip to like be in a room and like half the room has read your book.
That's very cool.
It's super cool. And yeah, so there's stuff on there from, talent stacking to mastering the fundamentals to defeating distraction, and then like broader concepts like identity and calling and purpose and those things. Yeah, so the feedback's been nuts. And then I did an album titled the same thing, which I have just been selling at shows. So we sell CDs at shows, and then you could open it, scan the QR code, and it takes you to a unlisted YouTube playlist of a whole album.
Oh, sick.
That I may or may not put the full thing on Spotify yet. I'm not 100% sure.
You should. That'd be awesome.
So, yeah. I mean, I feel just like the DSP game and like that game is so weird that I think trying to get people to buy physicals again, and I'm going to do it vinyl. I think that's been fun. Do vinyl for it as well. And so, so book an album. Cassettes too, yeah. We'll do some cassettes.
You also got that 60-day devotional, Occupy Till I Come, right? That's available to buy?
That's available to buy.
We got one. That's great.
Yeah, that's one of our best sellers. That's super fun because it has custom journal prompts. So you read, you go through the entire narrative of Scripture in 60 days, and then every single day there's custom journal prompts and a section for prayer requests. And so, I think what people discover is hey, if I just jot my prayers down, just write the things I'm praying to the Lord for 60 days, you'll be shocked how many things actually get answered that we pray for and forget. So we push people hey, document your prayers because Lord be moving, God be moving and answering stuff. We just forget because we're busy and we're running around. So
because he may say no to something, and then something better comes along.
Amen.
Yeah,
amen.
Totally.
Yeah. So the blessgod.co for all that stuff.
And you got the conference. Everyone can sign up. Is it the sign up
waiting list?
Okay.
For if they go to any of our previous videos we've released, they can sign up for. Or just go to blessgodsummit.com. I think it's happening about a month after Easter, so end of April 2027. So God willing, we have you guys back. We're starting to kind of finalize the lineup, and hopefully you'll be there and could bring your new baby and enjoy the beach.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Heck
Absolutely.
yeah.
Thank you so much for coming,
Ruslan, you're the man.
We love you.
We love you.
Appreciate it.
Patreon.com/Ninja Butterflies. Go there now.
Yes. SunnyCoolSwag.com. Get your ninja merch today. We got some new merch coming out soon. We love you. Jesus loves you.
Bye-bye.
What you're about to see may disturb you.
Ominous!
If any of you know what these multi-decade UAP dolphins are, aliens, bottlenose fish sticks.
There's a massive police response.
Oh, the dolphin thing?
Oh my God.
Dolphin style attack!